Impact of childhood vaccination on short and long-term chronic health outcomes in children, a birth cohort study. I've never seen this study before.
18,468 subjects.
Henry Ford, like other institutions, has a bias towards the goodness of vaccines. If the results came back demonstrating that the battery of vaccines was associated with chronic diseases, such a result would be particularly convincing. This could be essentially one of the most valuable studies in the field.
The vaccinated subjects were over 4 times more likely to have an asthma diagnosis.
600% more acute and chronic ear infections.
4.47 times the amount of speech disorders in the vaccinated compared to the unvaccinated.
5.5 times risk.
616% increase. Learning issues, developmental delays, speech delays, language delays.
Amongst the unvaccinated group, there were zero.
There was 0 brain dysfunction, 0 diabetes, 0 behavioral problems, 0 learning disabilities, 0 intellectual disabilities, 0 tics, and 0 other psychological disabilities. None.
It's a big difference.
It's very important the study sees the light of day.
This is devastating.
This paper should have been rushed to publication on an emergency basis.
We are systematically making kids sick, and not just a little bit sick, very sick.
This may be the most important study that's ever been done, and it needs to be published.
He knows if he puts his name on this, his career is over.
I mean, obviously, really emotional.
Zervo's probably going to lose his job over this.
This is an inconvenient study for the entire vaccine agenda.
If you haven't started your detox from the vaccine yet, now is the perfect time to take action. Lingering spike proteins in graphene oxide may put a strain on our body, potentially leading to chronic inflammation, blood clots, immune system challenges, and even organ damage. These toxins can also interfere with our endocrine system, the part of our body that regulates our hormones. And since our hormones directly affect our moods, energy, and overall well-being, protecting our endocrine health is absolutely essential.
Dude, it's 1998, and a good house costs about $125,000. A lot of people can actually afford their own place. A new family car costs less than $20,000, and most families can easily swing a new car. Gas is about $1.03 a gallon. We drive to go on vacation or weekend trips all the time without even worrying about the price of gas.
A loaf of bread costs about 85 cents, which is super cheap for every family.
Rent for an apartment is about $650 a month. We can find our own place and not have to share with anyone else.
A Big Mac meal is about $3.99. Lunch for less than $5. Now that's some seriously cheap fast food.
A new CD costs about $14. We love going to the record store to buy albums because it's like a cool collection to show off. Grocery bills are about $40 a week. We go to the store, get what we need for the week, and still have some cash left over for snacks. Dude, are you going to stay in 1998 or face the reality of 2025?
Start understanding quantum physics, you realize that everything is energy and nothing is separate. And then when you realize that they can measure your brainwaves with a magnet that doesn't touch your head, you realize that your thoughts are not in your head. And they're part of this greater field that we are all connected by. And they're now trying to understand how we actually store memories, which is a developing process. Some of it is protein-based, and some of it is this theory that we basically store our thoughts in the cloud. So basically you're accessing your own Wi-Fi field. And this is why there is a difference of like meeting somebody in person versus doing something over Zoom. Our biofields are interacting right now. There are low-level frequencies that our brains interact on. So having that biofield, you realize that like you have your own biofield, you are your own Wi-Fi, you emit your own Wi-Fi. And so then thoughts can be the process of some of that Wi-Fi coming in, mostly directed as life force and energy, which is why like how you practice your energy and how you maintain your energy can really direct how your thoughts come out in your reality, because it's that life force that then drives a chemical change in the brain that then drives forth whatever is going to come out as like a conscious thought or a verbal thought or anything like that. But when you realize that it's the energy that comes first, this is why stuff like meditation could lead to manifestation, because you have to correct that frequency signal and then it'll actually correct your physiology. And I literally went through my own personal experience of this, because at one point I talked to people a lot about allostatic load, and it's this concept of when your body becomes overwhelmed. I just had so many things going on in my life on like a physical level, a chemical level, and a mental level. My body got overwhelmed. My immune system was starting to act in autoimmune type ways. I basically became allergic to all food. This is how I know sensitivity to supplements really well. I was being made sicker by being put on supplements and medications, and my body was just rejecting all of it. And so I finally got to this point where I was at a loss, and the only thing I had left to do was listen to my body. And my body was like, I want you to sit here and drink water and eat these 3 foods and meditate and do nothing else. So that's basically what I did. But in that process, simply from meditation,
You be the judge. If you're awake, you already know what comes next. Support the movement. Show where you stand. Your voice carries further than you think.